You ever notice how just a little bit of bad weather can bring our super modern world to a screeching halt? We've become absolutely obsessed with making everything faster, smoother, more efficient. But what if that obsession has a hidden cost? What if, in our race to eliminate every little bit of friction, we've accidentally built a world that's incredibly fragile? Let's dive into how we built this fragility trap for ourselves.
I mean, think back to the winters of the past. The author of the article this is based on remembers deep snow that would last for months. Yeah, life slowed down, sure, but it didn't just stop. The systems were durable. People had shovels, they had boots, and they just accepted that you had to work with reality. And now, a single storm can cause a catastrophic failure. Power grids just buckle, supply chains completely snap. The systems we rely on are incredibly fast, but man, are they brittle.
And this gets right to the heart of it. This is the core question. In our relentless, non-stop pursuit of speed, what did we actually give up? And the answer is resilience. We basically traded our shock absorbers for a slightly bigger engine.
So how did we get here? I mean, this whole shift didn't just happen by accident. It was a very deliberate design choice, and it was driven by a really powerful management philosophy that completely took over the business world. Let's take a look at the cult of just-in-time.
Okay, so the idea itself, pioneered by Toyota, was pure genius for manufacturing. I mean, why pay to store a bunch of parts you don't even need yet? Just have them arrive just in time to be used. It slashes waste, it boosts efficiency, it literally revolutionized how we make things. But then we got a little carried away. We started taking this just-in-time logic and applying it to, everything. Our supply chains, designed with zero excess inventory. Our teams, staffed to run at 110% capacity with no margin for error or, someone getting sick. Our energy grids were optimized for a perfectly normal day. We just systematically went through and removed all the slack, all the buffers from all of our systems.
This metaphor really just captures our predicament perfectly. We have engineered these high-performance Ferraris, totally optimized for a perfectly smooth racetrack. But the real world isn't a racetrack, it's a bumpy dirt road that sometimes freezes over. And our Ferraris, they just can't handle it.
The brilliant thinker Nassim Taleb absolutely nailed this concept. When you optimize something for one specific set of conditions, the happy path, you are, by definition, making it fragile to everything else. You are literally stripping away its ability to adapt. And look, this isn't just some history lesson about supply chains from the 70s. The exact same fragility trap is playing out right now, today, in the most important technology of our time, artificial intelligence.
Right now, the race in AI is all about what it can do and how fast it can do it. Can it write that code? Can it analyze that report? But very few people are asking the most important question. What happens when the world changes? What happens when the data it was trained on no longer reflects reality? We're forgetting all about reliability.
And this is the problem in a nutshell. We build these incredibly powerful AI models, these glass cannons, if you will, in a pristine laboratory, feeding them clean, predictable data. And then we just deploy them into the real world, which is messy and changing and totally unpredictable. So is it any wonder that they break?
This is the bottom line. Relying on an AI that can't adapt to new information, to what they call data drift, isn't a strategy. It's a high-stakes gamble. It's the digital equivalent of a power grid that's designed to fail the absolute moment it gets cold.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. We're building fragile systems. What's the solution? Well, it's not about rejecting efficiency entirely. It's about shifting our mindset to something the author calls systemic realism.
And I gotta say, I love this reframe. We have all been taught to see friction as the enemy, right? Something to be eliminated at all costs. But systemic realism tells us that friction is actually a feature. Think about it. You can't drive on sheer ice precisely because there's no friction. Friction is what gives you grip. It's what gives you traction. It's what keeps you on the road when conditions get tough.
So how do we actually build this snow tire layer into our organizations? Well, first, we have to treat redundancy. Things like backup suppliers or having some extra staff as a valuable asset, not a wasteful cost. Second, we need to build in cognitive slack, giving our teams the breathing room to actually think and innovate instead of just running at 100% capacity all day. And third, especially with AI, we have to engineer for governance, building systems that monitor the road, not just the engine.
And this brings us to the crucial takeaway. All the optimization in the world doesn't change one fundamental truth about the world we live in. As modern professionals, as leaders, as builders, we have bought into a very powerful and frankly dangerous delusion.
The delusion that we can somehow bend reality to our will. That if our spreadsheet is just perfect enough, the storm won't hit. That if our code is lean enough, the market won't crash. But here's the thing, nature and reality, they don't negotiate. They don't care about your quarterly targets. So really, this brings us to a clear choice for leaders today. Do you keep investing in a bigger, faster engine and just hope the track stays perfect? Or do you invest in snow tires, in redundancy, in slack, in governance, and build something that's actually ready for the real road?
The winter storm is just a reminder. The real tests, they're coming in our markets, in our technologies, and in our organizations. So the question is, which one will you choose for the road ahead?